Hello again, this is Francesco Lee, and today I'm here again with Zaira, my trusted lawyer. And today it's our last episode of this podcast, and we're gonna talk about how to get a financing from a bank, a lender, or other entities here in Mexico if you are a U.S. citizen or you're from Canada. So Zaira, please give us some insight about these different kind of financing that they can get here in Cabo San Lucas.
Sure. Okay, so there are several ways in which a foreigner, we're talking specifically about a U.S. citizen, can have a financing in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we have three options, some of them way more advisable than the others.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is having a financing through a Mexican bank institution, which, as you know, it's not that advisable since they have
We want numbers.
very
We want
high
numbers.
12 to 15%
That's
of interest rate. So it's quite a lot, specifically compared to the interest rates that they have in the States. They're closer to 2% than 12. So yeah, Mexican banks are definitely probably the least advisable options. There's also some difficulties in order for a bank to verify if you're subject to a financing. You have to be a resident. You have to have some credit history with them. So it makes the process a bit more complicated, and normally we don't recommend going to bank institutions for that purpose. But we have other options. For example, I think we all know about the lenders. Lenders are other kind of financial institutions, not a bank one, that lends money to the seller, to the buyer, for the acquisition of a property. Normally, for them to do that, they need to carry out a process in which an appraisal carried by the bank should be done. And it's very important to mention that this appraisal may have a bit of a different value of the property than the one that you put on an offer. Depending on who is the appraiser, if it's a local company or a local person, they might or might not have all the information about the area, about the offer, the demand, which properties has more value, which zones has more value. So it's important to rely on the expert advice of your realtor and your lawyer to go to these institutions. And the last option that we have for financing, it's the internal financing with the developer or your seller. Some people have the capacity to lend you money and not needing a big down payment, and we can work with a payment scheme with comfortable installments for the payments. And I think that is, if you're working with someone, a seller or a developer that gives you that option, probably it's one of the best ones.
Okay. Just to give you some insight about this type of financing, usually when a seller is giving you a financing, what I've seen is usually giving you some 5 year of a financing, and it's gonna charge you like 7%, and it usually will require a 50% down payment of the entire cost of the property. And when it's a developer that is giving you a financing, it can be that it's a financing for 3 to 5 years, and usually it is not requiring any interest rate at the beginning, maybe for the first 60 months. That's what I've seen here in Cabo, and then it's gonna charge you 6-7%. It really depends from one and another developer. But I have one question for you, Zaira. Can you get the deed under your name even if you have a financing as a foreigner?
Yes.
Okay.
It is not that you have to wait the 5 years of the financing to be done until you pay. No. So there is a special figure. We talked previously about fideicomisos, and there's a specific kind of fideicomiso that it's used for this purpose. That it's a guarantee fideicomiso or a guarantee trust. So what normally happens? Francesco is a foreigner, more Mexican than foreigner by now, but Francesco normally in the fideicomiso would be the main beneficiary.
Okay.
And you're going to have your substitute beneficiary for the event of disease as it's normally done. What happens and what's different in this kind of fideicomisos that guarantees the obligation of payment? Instead of you being the main beneficiary, you become the second beneficiary, and the main one is going to be your lender or your developer. What does this do? It allows you to have your title as soon as it's possible, either if it is when the condo regime is ready or when the title is ready to be passed without any other restriction. And it allows the seller or developer or the person that is lending you money to have a way to ensure that they're going to be paid. Normally, this kind of fideicomisos has specific clauses of which number of consecutive payments can be skipped before having some sort of penalty or reverting the property. This does not constitute a risk as long as you pay on time.
So these were the best financing options that you can find here in Cabo if you're looking to acquire a property and you don't want to spend all of your capital. But if you want to have any additional tips or suggestions from me or from Zaira, let us know. I'm going to leave her contact here in this video, so you can contact directly to her or through me, and we can make the best deal and investment for you to use your money here to the best property here in this market. As always, follow me on this channel for more of the best property tour and the best information about investing here in Los Cabos. And I really have to give you a big thank you to you, Zaira. Thank you very much for this episode. It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much. And yeah, hopefully we're going to do it again with some other
Let us know if there's any concepts, any topics that you want to hear more about. Thank you so much for having me. It's been very fun, very educative, and see you next time.
Thank you. See you again. Ciao.